What's up, everybody? This is Murdic 3K, and today we are taking a look at something I just picked up. Now, this is not a new product, but it's new to me, and because the price became right for me. This is the Kodak Pro Orbit 360 4K camera. I got the satellite pack. When this camera first came out a couple years ago, it came out around the same time as the Insta360 One X2 and a lot of the other ones, and it was in that same price point as some of those cameras. This was $500 for the satellite pack, and now you can get it on Amazon with the satellite pack for $175. The Insta360 camera is still around that $475, $500 range, depending on who's selling it and when you check it out. But I saw this and I thought, you know what? I want to give it a shot. I've tried Insta360 products before, one of their earlier cameras, and I was happy with it for what it was, but I just was not ready to drop about $500 on a VR camera, because I really don't know, for one, which direction 360 video is going. I personally like it, but I'm wondering if that trend is something that's going to be phased out. I don't know, but I like it, but I'm not going to pay $500 for a 360 camera, not for what I do. That being said, with my rant, got the satellite pack. It comes with all the goodies you see here. We're not going to focus on all of this or a lot of the tech stuff. The reason being because this camera is not new. A lot of people explain it way better than I do. So I'm going to spare you guys that. And come on, get all this stuff out of the way. This is the selfie stick. We're going to talk about just a few things, but not in detail like some of the other guys do. Basically, I want to talk about the Bluetooth remotes and some of these weird accessories that I was like, you know what does this do? And I figured if I had a question about it, somebody else out there might, and I just didn't see it explained on any videos. Not saying that one's not out there, I just didn't see it. So the first thing I saw was like, that I was curious about was like this thing, right? And then I knew that these were remotes, and I knew with the satellite pack, I got a little bit more of a robust remote with it. And this is to put on your tripod, to operate with your tripod, or the tripod extends into your selfie stick if you want to as well. And that way it gives you an option of being able to activate your camera without reaching up and touching it while it's on a selfie stick or on the tripod. You can do it remotely via remote control. So what you do is basically, it has these little notches on both ends, and on this it has little catches shaped just for the notches, and you simply line it up and you snap it in place. So you hear a little click. If I can get it lined up, there it is. It's in there. So there it is. Now what you do, you go over to your tripod. I snap it on, and there it is. It comes with an extra one of these. Let me get this focus fixed. It comes with an extra one of these because what might happen is that it very well could possibly snap, I would imagine, after taking it on and off and on and off. So you do get an extra one of them. So there you go with that. The other part is this thing. Now, this is like some weird ring attachment. So if you didn't like the wrist strap design, which I personally do like the wrist strap design, you can use this little ring design. And it's really simple. Just take your wristwatch, your wristband off of the remote. Really easy to do. And then what I'm going to do is very similar to what we did before. You line it up, line this up with a little catch, you push it in place, and there you have it. And you can operate it like a ring. I personally don't like it like that. I prefer the little the strap design, but there you go if that's the way you wanted to do it. Another thing that I didn't see, and again, it could be on there on the YouTube. There are a lot of videos, and I didn't comb through every one of them. But I wanted to see how to actually sync this thing up, because I was like, what do I do? So basically what you do, right, you power your camera on. Oh, let's get oriented. So you have your camera on, and you see the little display there. Now what you're going to do is you're going to long press the little Wi-Fi symbol thing there. So I long press it, and it's going to give me an indicator. So now it's ready for pairing. So now with that ready, I'm going to push the record button and the power/Wi-Fi signal button at the same time. And I'm going to long press it until I sync up. So here we go. Let's see what happens. And it tells you what to do right up top. Connecting. Once it's connecting, I believe you can let go. Pairing successful. And there it is. Let's see if we can pair both of these things at the same time. But I want to say that it pushes one off when I do it. But we're going to try it anyway. So we're going to try it again. We're going to long press it. Okay, it's giving us the indicator. I'm going to press the same thing. Press the power and the record button. Connecting. Successful pairing. Great job. All right, now let's see if it booted the first one off. So I'm just going to hit record. So it did. It booted this one off once I paired it. So I have this one. I push record. And it starts recording. The little flashing lights indicate that it is recording. And then you push it again to stop. There it is. Well, guys, we went over some basics with this camera. Now let's go and put it through its paces. So we have it mounted just the way we want it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to power it on, and I'm going to link my little remote to it, and then we're going to hit the road. So we have the front, making sure the front lens is facing front, the rear lens, or what they call the dome lens, is to the rear, and here we go. So what I wanted you to notice from that was just the sound. I wanted you to hear what the how the mic picked up the sound, and that way you can make judgments whether you like it or not. But overall, I was pretty impressed. Now, I silenced it because it has a feature where you could reduce wind shear sound, but on the hood of a car, that sound's going to be loud regardless. But all in all, not only is it a pretty good 3D camera or a VR camera, it's a pretty good action camera as well. What you're looking at now is the dome or rear camera. It's called dome, and this is after the image has been processed. So what you're going to see now is the image, what it looks like before the image is processed. It gives you a sphere, but after you process it, it flattens it out and gives you a much easier to view perspective. And it's honestly not bad. It's actually a lot flatter than the front image, where the front image actually has a bit of a fishbowl effect. And whatever that rear dome thing does after it's processed, it seems to balance everything out just a little bit better. What you're looking at now is what the unprocessed VR footage looks like, the 360 footage. Initially, you'll see basically the angle from the front camera and the back camera side by side. Putting those together, you would get the 360 degrees of view. You can process it to break down in several ways, and you're going to see some of those ways in just a little bit. You have the equirectangular method, which gives you a just kind of a horizon shot. Kind of think of the world maps you used to see, and that image is coming up in just a second. The world maps where it has everything laid out. You have the full 360 degree range of motion, just kind of as if you've laid it flat on a sheet of paper. That's what it would look like. Doesn't give you much practical use. That's just one of the ways you could process it. I guess if you, for whatever reason, if that was the goal you were trying to obtain, you could definitely do it. But for me, it doesn't serve much purpose just to leave footage that way. Also in VR mode, you can do like the sphere world, and this sphere is different from the previous sphere we saw with the the dome, because this sphere gives you a full 360 where the other one doesn't. So with your finger, while you're within the app, you can scroll it around and get full 360 degrees of range. And that's always just a neat effect. Again, I personally like the option where you can just move your phone or slide the image around, but that's what it is. You also have the ability to make the tiny planet effect, which is always nifty to see. It's just a fun thing to do. It's a fun image to play with. And again, while in-app, you can use your fingers to swirl it around and do some fun things there. And that's that in a nutshell. So what we're going to do, we're going to stop the video about here, and we're going to talk about some final thoughts, or some initial thoughts anyway, that I have about this camera. My impressions on this camera so far: I love the camera, but the software is a different issue, and I'm going to explain what I mean when I say that. So the camera does exactly what it's supposed to do. It captures great 360 footage. It's been fun to play with. Now the software, on the other hand, let's start with the mobile app, right? The mobile app is not bad, but all I've been able to do with it is just, so once you make your recording, I was under the impression that you could edit and do all that within the app, upload it to YouTube from the app, and you would be ready to go with your 360 footage. I have not had that experience so far. I will say this: it could be 100% user error, but so far, all I've been able to do is, despite rendering and doing all the other things you can do within the app, the only thing I've been able to do to retain 360 interaction, it's been non-existent when I upload to YouTube, right? So even when I upload it to my Google Photos, it seems like I lose 360 interaction. That means I can't move the pictures around 360 and explore all the way around with it, if that makes sense. Same thing with the computer software. I can render it to an extent, and I've even been able to do so much as to render it and have 360 ability when I open it up in the Microsoft or the Windows media player thing, and I can have some 360 functionality or interaction. But when I upload that video to YouTube, I have not had the ability to retain the 360 functionality or interaction. On the other hand, now with my third-party software editor, which I personally use, a Power Director on a PC, I'm able to render 360 videos, retain full functionality, not only within my Google Photos, also on YouTube or whatever social media platform I want to upload the content to. So again, this could be user error. I'm going to continue to experiment with this to look for solutions, just to make sure it's not just me. But that's the issue I have. It's not so much with the camera, it's with the software. But I'm going to work on it. It could be user error for sure. But so what's going to happen next? The next video I post, guys, will be the 360 interactive video where you could scroll around and check out the environment in which we're exploring. And it'll be just something really simple. We'll be driving around, and I'll tell you, if you guys are Kid Rock fans, he lives really right around the corner from the house. We're in Whites Creek, Tennessee, and he has this giant house on the hill. And we're not going to go to his house or anything. I don't have an invitation to his house, but we'll drive by and I'll point out where his driveway is, and you might be able to see his house. It's like the size of the White House on top of this big hill, and you can see it for like a mile or so out. It's amazing. But that's probably what we'll do in the next video. Just explore some of the area here in Nashville. And that's about it. I'm really excited about the content we have going forward. This camera is going to be a big part of my camping outdoor series, along with some other cool stuff that we're going to be doing. Just basically more fun content that, if you guys have been following me for a bit, it won't be really, it'll be stuff I like to do. It might not, it might be related to a theme. It might not be related to a theme, but that's just how I roll. Well, guys, thank you for watching anyway. I really appreciate it. If you hadn't already, like, subscribe, click that bell notification if you want to stay in the loop when I post, and consider sharing a video to somebody you think might find this content interesting. Well, in any case, guys, just be safe out there, live the dream, and love you guys.